There are a lot of explanations about why the United States treats Israel so unlike any other country. Geopolitical explanations might emphasize the natural resources in Palestine, from water to arable land and, more recently, natural gas and oil. Another is that Israel wants to build an alternative to the Egypt-controlled Suez Canal. It turns out that the Ben Gurion Canal project would be a lot cheaper to construct if it could cut right through Gaza. Only Israel controlled Gaza. Other explanations talk about the military-industrial complex and that Israel is a major customer for the United States, Germany, and Italy in that order. On the other hand, Israel is one of the world's leading weapons exporters. For example, 40% of all drone exports come from Israel, and the US is a top client. Additionally, Israel can market its weapons as battle-tested, which we can translate as used against starving Palestinians. The US also uses Israel as a proxy to fund its shadow wars around the globe that Congress and the American people wouldn't allow the United States to fund directly. The US funded oppressive regimes through Israel all over Latin America, particularly Honduras and Guatemala in the 80s. And Israeli arms sales only increased when US congressional human rights restrictions took effect. The United States uses Israel to do its dirty work. Ideological explanations focus on the role of religion, Zionism, and indoctrination. Or they focus on moral justifications like Holocaust guilt to explain why the United States supports Israel. John Mearsheimer wrote the book on the Israel lobby and how it's involved in straight-up corruption in the United States and other first-world countries. It's not only lobby groups, but think tanks, media watchdogs, and political action committees as well. Because of the lobby in the UK, Jeremy Corbyn was smeared as an anti-Semite. Take another disturbing example of the lobby's power. In 2006, 60% of the Democratic Party's fundraising and 25% of the Republican Party's fundraising came from Jewish-funded political action committees. Another explanation points out that Israel is effectively a giant US military base in the heart of the Middle East. Israel's imperialist role in containing Iran should not be overlooked, even though, in the past, Israel has shipped billions of dollars of arms to Iran. So nowadays, the United States is bending over backwards to try to stop Israel from provoking Iran and dragging the US into a regional war. The boycott, divest, and sanction movement is always keen to point out the role of global capital in perpetuating US-Israeli crimes, as well as capital's involvement in all the other factors that I just mentioned. And BDS rightfully offers ways of distancing ourselves from the particularly bloody machine of Zionist capitalism. So a reductionist approach would be to take any of these explanations as the singular cause, or monocausal. There are many more aspects to this issue than the ones that I mentioned. Feel free to talk about more of them in the comments. But if we were to highlight any one of them at the expense of the others, then we would be engaged in methodological reductionism. On the other hand, the dialectical approach is about holding the totality of these factors in tension with one another to see how they operate together. Hegel teaches us that the truth is in the whole, or as I like to reframe that, the truth is in the tension. So dialecticians seek to not only understand all the explanations as factors to be understood in isolation, but they also try to see how they work together and interact, in this case in ways that result in a litany of crimes against humanity.